Hello, welcome back to my channel. Recently, I went to a dinner theater performance that a friend invited me to called Kiss Me Cake. It was a small production, and Cafe Nordo has this program called Pressure Cooker where they support local artists that have a limited budget in their creative visions. They host their performances. So I think it's super cool, and you know me, I love to support local artists. This was a new experience for me. I've never gone to dinner theater, and here was my experience. For a little bit of background, the show was created, produced, and envisioned by Christina Dillard. She comes from a long line of bakers in her family. Owns a bakery and loves to dance, and that's why the show melts together dancing and cake.
Oh, they're making your rose.
Can you make a rule? Yeah, she said I've been watching fruit.
The description on the Cafe Nordo website for this performance says, "Kiss Me Cake is a full sensory exploration of the female psyche told through dance and cake." There are different dance acts throughout the show, and each dance act, whether it be a ballet, flamenco, or more of a burlesque number, because again, this is a journey of a young dancer from childhood, adolescence, and maturity shown through dance. Each act was paired with a special type of cake that Christina baked herself. I'll talk through each of the cakes. Sorry, I don't have the proper names for them. I should have saved the menu, but if I can find them, I'll let you all know. The first cake was a rose pavlova cake. I loved how elegant and dainty it was. It had a very faint taste of rose, which I liked. I don't like it when cakes are too floral, so it was right on point for me, and the lightest of all the cakes, so if you're not a huge cake lover, you love the rose pavlova cake. We went a lot heavier with the second cake. It was a dark chocolate.
The glitter. The glitter. The glitter.
Over it, and in the center there was a fruity filling. I don't remember what the fruity filling was, but it was very rich, luscious, and amazing. I am a chocolate fiend, so it was definitely the cake for me, and it reminded me of a chocolate fondant cake just because of how rich and more bitter the chocolate was. The cake really melted in my mouth. The third cake was an ube or a purple yam cake. Ube or purple yam is a very commonly used pastry ingredient in Asia, at least. I personally love ube flavored sweets. Super cool to see something of my own culture represented in the cakes as well. Dinner theater is meant to be an immersive experience, so not only are you watching the performance, but you do in some cases get to participate. Every table was given a piping bag with limoncello flavored buttercream. You could draw or decorate onto the cake whatever design your heart desired. I really enjoyed kind of that crafty element that you could participate in. Also watching the dancers kind of parade up and down doing their act at the same time. The taste of the ube was really nice. It had more of a potatoey, starchy flavor, which I thought was really nice in small batches. I don't know if I'd want a huge cake of it, but it was still tasty nevertheless. Lastly, an American favorite, we got a rainbow confetti cake. When I tasted the cake, there was a flavor that I couldn't place immediately, but then my brain thought, oh, this kind of tastes like mochi. And I remembered back to one of the previous acts where rice flour was listed as an ingredient, so I thought, oh, they use rice flour for this. All their cakes are supposed to be gluten-free, just an FYI. So that's where I was getting kind of that ricey taste. I'm really surprised by the international palette of cake tastes and how they weren't too sickly sweet. They were just right and really paired well with their performances. Overall, I would describe the performance as very pretty because a lot of the girls were wearing traditional tutus and had ballet shoes, and they had roses in their hair. The roses were made of frosting and dried, I think, which was an awesome creative element to add. But at the same time, it was fiery. For the flamenco sections, they would wear these billowy dresses with corsets on top. Lights would be red, and they would wear these fishnet stockings, even with the ballerina dresses, and have kind of frosting or cake tattoos. This kind of contradicting element in the outfits. There was also this element of being very girly and dainty. The dance moves were very floaty, but at the same time, with the flamenco and kind of the more burlesque numbers, they were kind of heavy and powerful. Definitely a sensory experience when you're there, not only with your eyes, also with your taste buds as you try the cakes. It's actually a dinner served before the performance and the cakes, and it was in a French banquet style. So there was chicken, there were vegetables, different dips, potatoes. I'd say it was good standard fare. Friend and I noticed there wasn't a lot of seasoning, but otherwise it was kind of a good way to whet our appetite for the cake, and we tried not to eat too much to save some room for the desserts. Absolutely love the decor. There were frames that had frosting that was dried, strewn all over the restaurant. I was also in awe of the full cake, I think, cardboard decorations hanging from the ceilings. Like, there was no mistake that this show was about cake with the decoration. Really didn't feel like I was in Seattle. I felt like I was in a French ballet. And the windows were closed because of how well the lighting and the decor produced that elegant atmosphere for the dancing.
We can make it happen.
I'd say this is a great experience for you to have with adventurous friends, or kind of more as an artsy date. So if you want to do something different than going to a movie or eating out to a restaurant, well, I guess technically you kind of get a movie here and you get a restaurant experience, so kind of 2 in 1. The show was $65, but you could also get a cocktail or wine flight with the cake. So each cake had a cocktail that was paired with it, or a wine paired with it if you wanted, and that was an extra $25. I just had a glass of rosé and a gin cocktail, so I didn't go for any of the flights. To sum everything up, I just really love how the show empowered women and provided delicious cakes at the same time. I don't know how you could go wrong with that. Cafe Nordo does various shows throughout the year, so I would check them out if you live in Seattle, or if you're visiting Seattle and you want this kind of intimate dinner theater experience. And while it's not the most affordable for like a regular weekly date night, you know, unless you got moolah, I think this would be a good quarterly date recommendation, or maybe a once every 6-month outing with friends. I hope you enjoy listening to my experience. Have you ever been to dinner theater? Comment below or let me know if you want to go. And if so, what kind of dinner theater you'd like to go to, whether it be like a murder mystery party or dancing like this one, or even more of a comedy one. I'd love to know. All right, keep living that creative life. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. I do style, food, and travel on this channel, and I'd love to have you as part of my family. You have a wonderful day. See you next time. Bye.